Hello, my friends. The following is just a teaser for the second bonus episode on the Patreon feed. So, if you are interested in hearing what else Adrienne has to say after I cut it a little bit short, please check out the Patreon page. The link is in the show notes. I hope you'll come join us. Thanks again. This is the Life Shift Podcast, and these are the bonus episodes for our special Patreon page. Hello, my Patreon friends. This is a bonus episode for the Patreon tiers. And what I plan to do with all of these is reach out to former guests of the Life Shift podcast and ask them questions about after the recording. And so some of it will just be like reflections on sharing their story or feedback that they got or any kind of changes or anything that's happened in their lives. So I look forward to these conversations. I know some of it because I keep in touch with a lot of my guests, but today's bonus episode guest is Adrienne. Hey, Adrienne.
Hey, Matt.
Adrienne was episode 4. So it's been a while since we heard you, and I appreciate that you were one of a handful of people that was willing to get on, record before this was really even a thing. It was still kind of part of a school project, and I hadn't even launched yet. So I appreciate you trusting me with that portion of this journey.
Yeah, I'm happy to help out.
For this episode, I think it would be helpful to just kind of recap, if you could give a short recap of what your story was and what you shared in your episode.
Sure. My episode was about curing myself of PTSD with mushrooms. I guess that's the TLDR.
That was an interesting episode for me because it was so foreign to me. And what was so cool, or what my opinion, what was so cool about the way you shared your story and what you shared in your story is how much I felt like the universe or fate kind of intervened in that journey to help you get to where you are now. And I don't know if you see it that way, but the way that you told the story, it was very much like, wow, she put it in the universe, and then the universe was like, here you go.
Yeah, I think that way too. It really did feel like there was almost like a destiny involved. I really wanted something, and I just ended up like crying and screaming to the universe to give it to me, and it showed up. It wasn't even something that I had to work for. It was just like I wanted it, and I didn't know how I was going to get it, and it felt like the right thing to do, and then it just showed up. So there was a lot of intuition and a lot of serendipity, I think, in that journey.
Yeah, from an outsider's perspective, it was just so interesting to hear that story. And I know before we recorded, there was a little bit of apprehension about sharing it a little bit in like a public space or sharing your name or any of those pieces. How did you feel after we finished the recording? Like after we pressed the stop button, was there anything that you felt sharing that out loud? And that was just a little clip of my conversation with Adrienne for our bonus episode. So if you're interested in kind of joining in on the party over at Patreon, please check out the link in the show notes, and we'll see you there. And there will be a new episode on Tuesday next week.